Hey guys, Jessica Henry here. Just wanted to pop in real quick. I have a pretty busy weekend. I'm actually flying to San Diego tomorrow morning to film a TV show the next day. So with Put Some Color in Your Life. And so I'm really excited about that. But instead of doing a full video and uploading it and editing and all that, I thought what I would do is just go live because you know what, it's fun. And I got these gorgeous oranges today and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna do a quick little demo on oil painting transparent oranges. It's always a favorite and I really enjoy doing that one. So here I am and I thought it'd be fun. All right, so I'm gonna jump in. I've got just a little 8x10 canvas. This is, I just toned it with a little bit of sienna and a little bit of ultramarine blue. And then over here, I have my still life stand and I just have set up some couple of oranges and I sliced them so that the light was coming through. So I have them set up and let's get going. So I'm gonna pull my chair up and I will have my palette here on my lap and I think that you can see it if I hold it just so. All right, so I'm gonna grab a smaller brush. This is just a size 4 bristle. Got my paper towels over here, and I'm gonna jump in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start out by just kind of figuring out where these guys are gonna sit on my painting. Okay, so glad you guys could join me today. I know it's kind of a busy time of year, but we're gonna do this and have some fun. Okay, so I am just taking on my palette here. I'll hold it up so you guys can see what I'm doing. It's always so fun to paint transparency because a lot of people wonder how to do it and how to get that effect. And I'm gonna show you how I do that. So figuring out where I want these guys to sit. Let's move this guy a little bit that way. We'll put that one back there in the shadow. It's okay to play with your food a little bit. Okay, so let's see. Put the big one back here. I always try to just sort of figure out roughly where things are gonna sit in on my canvas. This one doesn't show there. There we go, that's better. I like to make them a little bit off center and a little bit different from each other. So we're gonna put this one, looking at the top line of that orange over there. It has this bright orange triangle. I think I'll shorten the cutting board a little too. I just want to sort of suggest this today. Put this wedge here. Because ultimately all I'm really going to focus on is the transparency. I put the cloth in there because I thought it was pretty, but I'm probably not going to paint it. So move this one back here. One of the ways to really get that impact of glowing transparency is to create a little bit darker background around it. All right, so I'll put this one over here, we'll just give this one a little bit more shadow. Okay, so that is how that is laid out over there. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm taking my sienna and ultramarine blue and I'm gonna start with some anchors, some dark in the background. And this will give us that sort of that platform that I can use to really show that powerful glow. So if it's nice and dark, then that'll really show up. And just when I paint the shadowed side of this orange over here, I'm gonna make that fairly dark so it just kind of gets lost back there. And pull that all the way to the top. Just give me that sense of atmosphere and that just kind of fade. And then this one's going to be kind of our main orange over here. I like to start with the toned canvas because it gives me that middle tone value range already. And I don't have to wonder, you know, all I have to do is really just try to get the dark in first, and then I figure out where my lights are going to go, and then I just jump into the color. All right. That looks fine. Maybe that's a little too high. Okay, and then over here under this orange, there's a sharper accent. And there's one back And here too. And then this orange is a little bit lower than what I have it. So like that, and then I'll put the rest of this all in shadow back this way. Hi guys, good to see you. So I'm bringing that back there, just a little more. And I'm thinking all the time, even though it's just like a demonstration on how to paint something looking transparent, I do want to think about the aesthetics too, and the way that these are laid out in just sort of an interesting, pleasing design. And then that I'll bring down. I want that one a little bit lower. This is Gamsol, just thinner over here in my cup. Put that out a little. Okay, and so that is where I'm going to go with that. All right, I'm going to just take a little bit of the sienna and, hi Grace, good to see you. A little bit of yellow ochre and some of the blue. And now I'm going to put in the shadows on these pieces of fruit, the oranges. So just very lightly. My shadows are always thinner. You always want to paint shadows thinner and let your lights be thicker paint. And then this one has a little bit of a shadow on the fruit part, the sliced part. And this one has a little bit going back this way too. And then there's a shadow on the table from this one. Pass that way. I'm just going to kind of let this shadow wrap around the front just a little bit more. All right. Let's give this a little bit more shadow over here just to, I want that to feel more like an anchor. Like that has a finish over there. And then this, I'll just, I know that there's some bounce light. My light over here is casting sort of a light on this orange right there. And I want that a little bit darker. If I had that off, this would be more in shadow and it would have more drama. So in your own home, if you want to kind of set things up a little bit like that, you'll be able to adjust the lighting a little bit better than I'm able to here with the studio lights on. I remember once I was doing a transparent orange video and my studio light actually fell on me. That was a lot of fun. Okay, so I'm going to grab some cadmium red. Now cadmiums are the secret to painting beautiful transparent oranges. So I'm grabbing some cadmium red light and some cad red or cad yellow. This is just going to be the nice bright orange, the skin, the peel on this orange. I'm going to mix up a couple different shades on my palette. A little bit more redder right here. And I'm letting the brush strokes show the form of the orange. I'm scooping up, let's get a little bit more brighter yellow where the front of the orange comes down. Now, anytime you're painting an object that is round, let your edges be soft because it'll give the feeling of roundness going back. So as I go back there to the back of the orange, I press very lightly. Oh, I forgot to tell you what I have on my palette. So titanium white, cad yellow pale. I think your white darker should be thinner because we like, there's opacity in the thick impasto in the light areas, gives that feeling of thrust and coming out at us. Shadows are more part of the background and they'll recede if they're thinner and they just kind of fade in the back. So I hope that helps. Forgot what I was saying. Anyway. Oh, okay. Titanium white, cad yellow medium, cad red light. This is cad red medium, but it was from the other day. I probably won't be using it much. Yellow ochre, burnt sienna, ultramarine blue, and I don't know that I'm going to use phthalo green or alizarin crimson, but they're just on there. Actually, I think I'm going to use, no, I'll use some of the cad red, a little bit of that. What about dark shadows that are not at the background? I still keep them, well, if they're shadows, they're going to be, you want them to recede. So mentally, they're part of the background, no matter what. I mean, like even this shadow that is not back there, I want it to recede. And so in my mind, it's mentally just part of the background. Since it's not part of the foreground objects, it has to go back. Now down here, where this orange is coming down here into shadow, I want this to be not as brilliant. So I'm taking yellow ochre, and that will neutralize that brightness of that orange and just keep it a little bit quieter. Same with over here where the shadow of this orange, I just want it really soft, but it still has to be somewhat orange color. So I'm taking the yellow ochre with a little bit of the cadmium and just putting that right in there. A little bit of bounce light in there. And same with over here. A little bit more sienna and ochre. Just keeping that really simple. And then there's a shadow cast on the orange that is sitting down here on the counter or on the cutting board. So I'm going to put that right in place there. And then let's see, anywhere else that I have this shadow color, we'll put it just where I see it on the bottom side of this orange wedge and maybe a teeny bit on the front. Okay, now I'm going to come back to, I'll wipe my brush off. I have my napkin right here too. I have a little bit of linseed oil down there. So cadmium yellow. I'm going to go back to this nice bright orange again. Right up here on the skin. A little bit more red in that. A little down here. And then a little bit over here. Okay, now before I start getting into the really strong glowing part, I want to get some of these darker pieces where the light is not really transmitting through the orange. So that is a little bit more yellow ochre. Let's get just a touch of blue. That'll sort of gray it a little bit. And I'm squinting down at my still life to try to see exactly what that color is. And that's a great technique for minimalizing the detail and information. Just to really just squint down, just see a little bit of it. Simplify that. And over here, this one is pretty much all in shadow. I'm going to grab a little bit more blue. Okay, now this rind part of that. Sometimes I close one eye like this and I squint the other one way down, and you can simplify. It just sort of unifies a passage that it's a really small area, kind of difficult to see it exactly. What color is it? So that's what I do. I squint way, way down. So I'm grabbing it's too much blue. Just a little bit of blue, yellow ochre, and white. If I squint way down at that, maybe a little bit of yellow. Let's see where we are. Let's go with that. I need a little bit of oil to thin that, just a little bit. And I see it over here. And then we've got a little bit over here. Okay, and that kind of comes up like this. And I think I'm going to put just a little bit of like a light blue white right here. And then over here, maybe a little bit more there and in here. Okay, now we're ready to have some fun. So, getting the slice part of the fruit in this passage in here. So, well, that one's pretty much done. Okay, so I'm squinting down at that, and I just want to put a little bit of orange color, and the rest is going to be almost all yellow. So right in here, I'm seeing some light come through, like that. And I think I'm going to pull you guys a little bit closer now so that you can see a little better what I'm doing. Like that. I hope that's okay. Okay. Yeah, the cadmiums are really beautiful. I do love these colors. Okay, so squinting down, I see I've got this big, beautiful chunk right there. And then over here, now this is where I like to get with the thicker paint too. So I'm taking my color Cad Yellow and Cad Red, and I'm just painting them together like this. Very slowly, very carefully. And over here, up in here, I'm only painting this color in the places where I see it. Scoop the paint up on the brush, right along in here. And where else? Right at the top here. Now this video today is instead of my Friday video because I will be traveling to San Diego tomorrow and I won't be here. So I thought, you know, I'm just gonna upload a live video. I'm gonna do a live, and so here we are. Okay, now let's get this one over here a little bit too. I want to take just some straight yellow, you probably can't see it that well, and just go right along the top of this orange here. And then to get that look where the light is fading into the shadow of the orange, I'm just lightening the pressure just a little bit. So I put down a thicker chunk of paint like this, and then I just gently lift as I go down this way so that that shadow color that I painted on has that illusion like that. It just sort of softens into the light. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of the white and mix it with some yellow. And I'm just going to paint this right along the spiny edge here. Okay, and that creates that appearance of glowing like that. Now I'm going to take my brush, I wiped it off on my napkin, and just to gently soften some of that into the dark background, like that. Just a stylistic thing, but I think it looks neat. We'll make that a little more brilliant in there. And then this rind over here is getting a little highlight on it, like that. Okay, and now this one right here, let's give that a little bit more finesse, a little thicker paint, grabbing some of this and then just gently lifting as I come down into the shadow of that slice, like that. And same with on top. . we seem to have lost that rind over here. So we'll bring that up a little bit. And I want this a little darker on this side. And same with over here on the shadow part of this orange. And then I want that, see how I did that singing right there? I'm gonna do that on this side too, on this orange. So I got this clean yellow with a little bit of white. Let that, scoop that. And I'm gonna bring that up a little too, to that one. Okay, all right. And taking some red and yellow, paint those colors together. I want this a little bit more bright in front here too. All right, so this orange here in the back is getting a little bit of highlight on it. So I'm gonna take some, little white, maybe just the smallest amount of blue to put a nice cool highlight on that. And that just kind of goes right in there. Just dried my brush off and just like that. Okay, and then this one over here, this small orange, has a little bit of highlight right there. All right, now to make this kind of look like there's a table surface here, I'm gonna get kind of aggressive here with some of this white and yellow ochre. Let's tone that down with a little blue. Leave a little bit of oil in that. Okay. Now I'm looking where the light touches these oranges on the table here, and I'm bringing that right up under them. And this one has a little less over here because the light is strongest right here and then it fades that way. And then I'll let it fade back this way into the shadow. Clean this up a little bit. I have one more thing to show you that's kind of fun. I think you'll enjoy it. I'll bring that down. Now I'm going to take and do a little bit of the orange light down, reflected into the table surface. So I'm right under the orange, going to put a little bit of orange like this and just bring it straight down. Okay, and then over here. I'll go a little bit across. And this one has a little bit. Okay, and then this orange in the background, I'm just taking some bright orange and I'm gonna go right up into the background a little bit. And this is one way that you can make something really look like it's glowing. Just take it right up into the dark. Okay, and that wraps up my demo. Just do a quick little that. Just a few little accents here, and that's it. I like that little splash of blue. All right, now I'm just playing. All right, I'll move this over here. And I'll bring you in a little bit so you can see that. So there it is. There's my demo. And that's it. So I wanted to thank you guys for joining me today. I'm gonna get out of here. All right, so just want to thank you guys for joining me today. This was a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you're enjoying these videos. Also, I wanted to tell you, go to our website, Renaissance Creative Arts. We're having a super awesome sale right now on all of our other videos, as well as our online academy and some of the other things that you might think are interesting. Okay, guys, that is it. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And and as far as the painting giveaway, I will be doing that on Monday. Okay, that's it, you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.